Hey guys, it's John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur here, coming at you tonight. Happens to be July 1st. For those of you that want to know, today is International, well, actually, it's U.S. Postal Workers Day and U.S. Postage Stamp Day. Uh, so, by the way, postage is going up 2 cents on July 10th. That'll be 60 cents from the 58 cents it currently is right now. If you're new to IFYL, well, really easy. Just go ahead and you will notice that there is, my friends, on the right hand side of your screen, just now a QR code. Take your phone and use it to scan that QR code. Once you do that, you'll get directed to lots of great content about me and how it can improve the quality of your life. One of my favorite things that I have, and it's new, when you go to believemeachieve.com, which is where the QR code goes, you'll be able to click on that very first link. And on that very first link, it says John's Daily National Day video. There's all kinds of great stuff. So definitely hope you will check that out for me. And every day, we have a topic. Today is the last day for this master topic. Tomorrow we'll have a brand new topic. I'm actually traveling, but we're still conducting these things. Even the John's Daily get done, even when I travel. So thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for the old people that have been here for a long, long time supporting me. My friends, colleagues, and associates really appreciate my longtime subscribers. Hopefully, my new people will become just as loyal as many of the old subscribers have been. So thank you so much for that. I'm truly, truly grateful. Our topic for tonight is great questions to start conversations. So when we think about a conversation, we have to understand one thing. First of all, before I can get into anything with you, I want to just go to our friends Merriam-Webster, okay? And I want to look up for you what is the definition of a conversation. Probably the most important thing. So it is a noun, in case you didn't know. And according to Merriam-Webster, it is the oral exchange of sentiments, observations, opinions, or ideas. An instance of such exchange is a talk, an informal discussion of an issue by representatives of government, parliament, institutions, or groups. An exchange similar to conversation is what this is. Conversation. Conduct behaviors also the term, but it's obsolete. And when we think about a conversation, it's the dialogue that goes on between one person and another. But it's not just between human beings. Machines can have conversations with other machines in machine language. So conversations are really, really, really important. Hello there, Kenny. It's great to see you tonight with your great comment there. Savor the flavor of the awesomeness in you, sir, for sharing your delectable, scrumptiously, deliciously, edibly tasty, good, heartfelt thoughts with us today and every day. Almost a tongue twister there, Kenny. Thank you so much. And something brand new on the believemeachieve.com tree is we've been doing these great dailies, but now you can find them right from there. John's Daily National Day video. And that directs you right over to that on Instagram. So you can check that out. Lots of great information. And hope you will choose to check that out. Today, again, is U.S. Postal Workers Day. And in addition to that, it is also U.S. Postal Workers Days. And so when we think about life, when we think about dialogue between one individual or another, it should never be about overpowering the other, right? We should want to listen to what somebody else has to say. And then they'll give us a chance to say what we'd like to say, and they'll listen. So I think those are pretty cool things. So thinking about that, I know, ladies and gentlemen, that you're probably wondering what makes a conversation different than someone just talking to you? Well, that's a great question. A conversation is really important. It's also Happy Canada Day to. Oh, well, Happy Canada Day. Good to know. Yes, and so we're talking about the fact, Kenny, that conversations are so vital because they help us become better versions of ourselves. They help other people become better versions of themselves. You see, a conversation is great because when it flows properly, it primes the pump for someone to learn about themselves. And a conversation is a great way to share information between two parties or more than one party. But I always love a conversation with another person because you get to have these epiphanies. I remember when I made a good friend in high school, another good friend in college. Excuse me, I got to get some water here. And I remember this, and I was like, I was in school, and all of a sudden, I met this friend. It's like every day I hung around with him, it was like I learned something new about myself, and I learned something new that we could do together, and it was just kind of fun. And so, other people get you to find your hidden gems. Pretty cool, right? Because we don't typically research our own gems when we're on our own. We just don't. Life is about having purpose, it's about having meaning. And when we can understand our meaning in life, it makes everything so priceless. When we think about a conversation, let's think about two parties. One person talks, the other person listens, the other person listens, this person talks. We should never be two people talking at one time. And so conversations are the doorway to people's minds. They're the doorway to possibility and potentiality. Because when a thought comes up, it allows that person to go to their memory banks and say, oh, like let's say I said cathedral cheese. Cathedral cheese is very good, by the way. And you're like, what's cathedral cheese? Well, cathedral cheese has many, I should say, three different variants of having basically a regular. Um, then they have a very, um, let's say, higher cheese, which is very um, aged, so it has a very strong, deep flavor. Then they have a medium one. So when we understand our lives, and like, so cathedral cheese, for example, cathedral cheese has a personality that I've never seen in cheese before. It causes you to want to pair it with different wines or share it with different people. Whenever you have an epiphany in life, that's the perfect time for when you want to share something with someone. You're like, oh, wow, I just figured that out. And you want to share that with as many people as you can, not to brag, but because you feel good about it and you just want to let another person know about it. Conversations are very important, but a lot of people rush a conversation, kind of like a lot of people rush dating. They want to get to home base, right? We won't get into all those details, but first, second, third, and home. They want to get right to home base on the first date, and that's not really polite, proper. When you're in a conversation, you don't want to rush it. You want to take your time, get to know the person or get to know the topic that you're conversing about. Also, it's important to ask the right kinds of questions. That's what we've learned all of this week. We want to ask open ended questions. So, just to review that, because this is the whole home point of the week. If I ask you a question like, do you like the dinner? Yes or no? Yes, no. The conversation ends. If I say no, it ends. If I say yes, there might be a little doorway to probe a little more, but usually it's just a yes or no, and then we move on. If I ask you a question like, what color is the car? White. And it doesn't give you really any room for anything else than that, just that one answer. If I say to you, well, did the Yankees win last night? Yes. Let's try these conversations in different. Did you like the cheese? Yes or no? All right. Let's go back and ask a question about the dinner. How did you like the dinner? I'm presuming that you already liked the dinner, right? If I just said, "How was the dinner?" I'm giving you the option to go either way. If I say, "How did you how good was the dinner?" Or "How did you like the dinner?" I'm kind of hoping you liked it, but I was like, "So how much did you enjoy the dinner?" They could still say they didn't like it, but they're probably more apt to saying something nice about it. Well, I thought the filet mignon was so tender, it was flavorful, and the mashed potatoes were so creamy. I really enjoyed the asparagus and um, the tater tot fries. But to be quite honest with you, the best part of dinner, if I have to say so myself, was dessert. Oh, which dessert? Well, I really enjoyed the Boston cream pie. The the peaks in the top of the cake were so high. The chocolate mousse in that cake, the filling was so rich, and the crust was so light. I had to go back for another piece, but I didn't because I know that eating one piece is probably like 500 calories. Now, I said to you about the game, I said, well, what did you think about the Yankee game last night? It was horrible. They lost. The pitcher should have been taken out early, or the third baseman was missing things and he was like blind. Or if I said to you, you're on a date, what do you think of me? Now, that question puts somebody on the spot. You might say something like, how are you enjoying your evening? Because the evening is parallel to you. If I say, well, what do you think of me? Do you like me? That's a little bit forward for a first question. I might say something like, how are you enjoying the evening? I'm enjoying it very much. And then somebody might say something like, your date might say, well, it's a shame that we're almost done with dinner. Well, why's that? Well, I was hoping to spend some more time with you. Oh, well, maybe we could go bowling or see a movie. Oh, I'd like that. You see how it kind of has that playfulness and allows you to plug in? How about cheese? If I say to you, did you like the cheese? Did you like Cathedral Cheese? It was good. Now, if I say to you, how did you feel about the Cathedral Cheese? And you're going to be like, it's amazing. I've never had a cheese quite like this before. Yeah, it's pretty good. The reason I like Cathedral Cheese is because its taste is so on point. I mean, they have their mild and they have their regular and then they have their mature, which is really good. And they're have like an English cheddar cheese, which is very good. And when we think about Cathedral Cheese, the thing that really got me turned on to it is that Queen Elizabeth loves Cathedral Cheese. And so Cathedral cheese is the cheese of royalty. Now, most cheeses that you hear about don't talk like that. They say the UK's number one cheddar cheese, expertly made for over 50 years. Um, it's interesting, and they have the three. One is the vintage, which is they're regular, okay, in English cheddar cheese. Then they have the mature, little bit more age. Then they have the extra mature. Okay. So for example, the vintage is a balanced, full-bodied cheddar with distinctive crunch and intense, long-lasting finish. Uh, then you have the mature, wonderfully smooth, versatile cheddar, rich, creamy, buttery, mellow cheese. Then you have the extra mature, which is a delightfully firm cheddar, rich yet creamy with a beautifully rounded flavor. So if I just said to you, "What did you think of the cheese?" and you said what was good, well, I can say, "Well, gee, I really enjoyed the vintage or the extra mature." When I bite into cheese, a second or two later, it's done. But when I have a piece of cathedral cheese, it's like that flavor kind of hangs around my mouth for a minute or two, and it's a good flavor. I've never had cheese like that before. So imagine tomorrow if you could start asking questions that got you more information about a specific topic rather than a yes or no or a factual point or direction, right? If you said to somebody, which way is the White House? Oh, it's that way, or it's south, it's west, north. They don't tell you much. If you said to them, well, I need directions to the White House. Now they would say, well, you're going to go south. You can take a second left, make a right. So I think a lot of times people in general are in a rush and they don't want to savor that flavor, like of the cheese. They don't want to savor the flavor of someone's intelligence. They're just such in a rush. And I think a lot of times it's because of an ego. It's because they believe their life's more important than everybody. And in doing so, they kind of give a bad taste to the other person. Now, it's not done intentionally, but it's known what I call the hustle and bustle, right? I know sometimes you might meet somebody, right? And maybe you meet some in your neighborhood and you're coming home and you meet them, they're outside and they just happen to be around and it's 11 o'clock at night. And you're really not looking to talk at 11 o'clock at night, right? Because it's 11 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock at night. So maybe they're new, they just moved in and they say hello, and you say hello, but you really don't put a lot of energy into it because it's 11 o'clock at night. And then for whatever reason, you really just don't connect. And then one day, after several months, you finally connect and say, hey, how are you? And then they ignore you. And I think that's cold. It's cold. Asking questions that give us more of an intelligent answer allow us to be greater and better communicators. I mean, that's really the truth. So, this whole week, I hope you've learned how important it is to ask open ended questions that are going to get you more than a single word answer. They're going to get you more than just a yes or no. That are going to give somebody a chance to describe and allow you to feel and see and experience what the heck they're talking about, whether they liked it or they didn't like it, or to give you a real body of their meaning, like the cheese, for example. And I know this is something you're not going to learn overnight, but it's something you got to practice. Tomorrow, when you're outside and maybe you talk to your neighbor and you say, is it going to rain tomorrow? Yes or no? Is the sun coming out? Yes or no? Instead of that, saying, gee, I heard the sun's supposed to be out tomorrow. What kind of weather do you think we're going to have from what you heard? And that'll open up the dialogue. Or like, oh, I got to get running. I got to finish this stuff up. But before I do, just curious, what are you doing with the rest of your 4th of July? Oh, we're having a barbecue and then we're going to be going in the pool. And then we have these great bomb pops. Yes, I know about them. We're gonna have those with some ice cream, after our dinner, and then I have a relative that makes this to die for triple layer chocolate cake. Wow, I love triple layer chocolate cake. That sounds amazing. Well, you know what? I'll save you a piece. It is really good. Thank you. It's really nice of you. So, when you show a genuineness in someone else, they become inquisitive about you and they want to do something nice for you. Now, if you're somebody out there and your agenda is to try to beat someone or to try to just get something over on someone, you're not going to be one that wants to do open ended questions because you're trying to get in and out as quick as possible. Again, you don't want your questions to become an interrogation or FBI interview. You want them to be friendly chatter that is non threatening and that is welcoming about a neutral topic. Once you've gotten comfortable with each other, I still don't recommend going to politics. Talk about something else that maybe you have some common interest in. And when that happens, you're going to start to see the sparks fly in the eyes. You're going to start to like, oh wow, like, oh, you're an engineer too. Yes, I am. Oh wow, what kind of engineering? Mechanical. Oh, electrical. Wow, that's great. My brother's an electrician. Engineer. Oh, pretty cool. What do you do in mechanical? Oh, I fix all kinds of machines like gears and components. Really? Um, what's the hardest machine that you ever had to fix? Oh, they're all about the same, but probably the one that was the hardest. Actually started fixing it one night at like 6 o'clock, and I don't think I finished till 1 o'clock in the morning. Wow, what machine was that? Oh, I was at an airport working on a conveyor system. And there are just so many parts. And when I got one piece to work, then the next piece didn't work. So it was like this domino effect. So I didn't get out of there till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But when it all worked, it just was like an oiled machine that went right through. If one gear is out of alignment, the whole thing gets off kilter. Wow. Same thing happens in technology and electrical. Speaking about kilter, if one wire's just a smidge off and isn't fully connected, well, we get no power. And if let's say you connect the wrong wire, well, you could have some very serious consequences. You could short things out, and you could blow transformers and all kinds of stuff. It's a safety issue. Wow. Yeah. So I want to ask you, what made you want to go to school for mechanical engineering? Oh, the reason I went to school for it, and you see them kind of smiling, it was my uncle. He's not with us anymore. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. No, it's okay. He was 98, and he designed machines for die cutting houses that made all kinds of different parts. He designed the machines, and then later on, he became the mechanical engineer. So he had to fix them, but he had to know gears really well. And in addition to working on machines, he was also someone who worked with big clocks like Big Ben and grandfather clocks. And you wouldn't think a clock is really mechanical engineering, but it is. If the weight is off just a little bit, if the counterbalance is off, or even if it's hung on the wall just at the not the right balance, that clock will not work. Pretty cool, right? And I know, ladies and gentlemen, that when you hear a story from somebody, you're going to think like you only spoke to them for a few moments. It's like, wow, look at the time. We got here at 4 and it's like 11. I did that several times with a couple of my best friends. I was like, wow, good thing we ate. We just kept talking and talking, and one thing led to another. And we got so charged, like this thought, his thought, my thought. We just kept going back and forth. And it was like a natural banter. It was like, wow, wow, we're going to have to hang out tomorrow, man. Yeah, we'll have to do some more. Well, we'll talk about that and see what was the first machine you ever built. It's getting late. Let me tell you tomorrow. Okay, sounds great. And they love to share their story and how they made a contribution to the world. People love it when you validate their purpose. That is the epitome of a conversation. And when you can master how to have a conversation that's like oiled machines and gears, everything works perfectly and everything feeds on the other. And it's a natural progression. And before you know it, you're in symphony with each other in a symbiotic connection. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It has been an amazing privilege and pleasure to be with you this entire week, as it is every single day that I'm here with you. We're on July 1st. Tomorrow is July 2nd. Probably going to do my shoot sometime earlier in the day because I'm going to be flying out later in the evening to Florida. And not sure what that topic is yet, but I'll come up with that, another master topic. In the meantime, I hope that you'll choose to like, love, support my channel. Comment below. What do you feel about these conversations? And do you feel sometimes when people ask you questions, they just ask you non open questions? So they ask you closed questions. And I think sometimes people do this because they don't want to become emotionally connected, or they don't want to spend the time. People that ask closed-ended questions are usually just trying to fix something, but they don't want to get to know you. However, if you don't get to know the person, it causes a disconnect. And if something goes wrong, it's like, now you have to kind of like walk with your head between your legs and like, oh, why didn't I get to know this person a little better? Why was I so, foolish? Why was I so rude in the beginning? Be sure to tag all your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media, and then go to my YouTube channel, John Space E Space Morley Space Serial Entrepreneur, and look for that key phrase to help keep our content free. And make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee. Look for that key phrase. Click on that PayPal link, cup of coffee, slice of watermelon, or even an ice cream cone. We'll be so grateful for those pennies and dollars. We'll invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, and even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content ever and get you on your path to success. I hope that you have a great rest of your night and a great July 2nd. And if I don't see you for July 4th, you can always come back and watch these. But check out the new column that I've added on my Linktree, which is John's Daily National Video. I know you're not going to want to miss that. Have yourself a great one, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? I will be back. Yes, I'll be back tomorrow sometime to share even more knowledge with you. And I know you're looking forward to that as well. Have yourself a great night. And remember, in life, it's all about asking the right kinds of questions. And remember to ask open-ended questions. I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Take care.